lads and lasses. Hamish McDougall here. Once upon a time I was a professor in the university. Abertillery, University of Abertillery in Wales. Sadly they threw me out. Very, very, very unfair. They know I meant to pay the money back just as soon as my luck changed on the GGs. Be that as it may, I find myself now making these little films off my own back. And for today, I tell you all about spoons. The spoons have been a really big part of my life ever since I left Dunbarton. Aye, well, spoons. You're taken for granted these days, do you not? But did you know that spoons are responsible for this? You wouldn't have had this were it not for spoons. And I'll tell you why. Well, it goes back 100 years now. And there was this big bossman called James Brindley. And he used to manufacture things, you know, like cutlery and so on. And one day he was looking out of his window and he saw the river nearby, and he thought to himself, goodness me, or something to that effect, goodness me, wouldn't it be easier for me if I could load all my produce onto a boat and send it down the river? But you know, he knew that wasn't possible because the river was just too wild and too many rocks, and plus it went the wrong way. I mean, it pointed the wrong direction, you know. So he's kind of scratched his head for a while. And at the time, as he was scratching his head, he was looking at one of these. And in fact, this is one of the original Brindley spoons. That's an antique, that is. It's worth a lot of money. I shall go and show it to that Fiona Bruce woman. She might give me 500 quid, you never know. God knows she could afford it. Anyhow, he was looking at his spoon and he thought, you know, maybe I could make my own river. So what he did, he called for some of his lads, some of his apprentices, and he called 6 of them up to his room, which of course was on the top floor of the building. It was very, very grand. So he called them into his rooms, and they're all stood there before him, you know, to attention like he was the Sergeant Major. They were all pretty scared, really. And he said to them, lads, I've got a wee job for you. You're relieved of your current duties. You see these lads? And he showed them a spoon. And he had 6 spoons. And he gave each of them a spoon. One of these. And he said, here now, lads. You go down there, you go outside, go for the back entrance, and you'll see there, I've marked out on the grass a pathway. And I want you to start digging. I wanted to use these spoons, and I wanted to dig a river for me. All the way down to Inverness. So, you know, they were a bit taken aback. They didn't expect this kind of thing, but anyway, off they went, these 6 wee lads, and I mean, they had a go, they did their best, but what can you do with a spoon like that? And in 2.5 years, they only managed to do 10 yards. I mean, it was near going to work at all. So he came out to see them one day, and he said, you know, he was a very understanding man, very patient. He said to them, what the bloody hell do you think you're doing? Are you not trying at all? And explained, you know, it's difficult with a wee spoon. So he said, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'll give you one of these. And he gave him a bigger spoon. He said, get to work now and see what you can do. And I'll come and check on you next month. Do you know, it made a hell of a difference. They did another yard in a month. But it still was never going to be enough. In the end, he had to give up and reached into his pocket, which was quite substantial, I must say. And he paid out a lot of money to some men with shovels. And they dug and they dug and they dug. And eventually they dug a big ditch. Aye, and eventually these navvies with their shovels, you know, they built it for him. They built this river, except, you know, it wasn't really a river. It was full of water, and he had to think of a different name. So in the wilds of Argyll, you know, the another name for a spoon is a canal. I don't know if you knew that, but it's a canal, and that's what he called this length of water, a canal. That's what he called it, and you know, the name's kind of stuck ever since, really. James Brindley, his name was, you know. He's the father of canals, I reckon. I think he died in 1772, age 56, bless him. Aye. And he's responsible, him and his spoons are the reason we got canals like this today. And that's a true story. You know, I've always been fascinated by spoons. Well, all kinds of cutlery really, but particularly spoons. I always liked a nice spoon. I think it stems back to me, my great Aunt Fanny. She used to come to stay sometimes. Oh, she didn't scare the crap out of me, she did, because she was so big. She was 6 feet across. She used to work on the docks. I don't mean she was, you know, a lady of ill repute. I mean, she was a docker. She could shovel a ton of coal in about 2 hours with a spoon. She was a hell of a woman. And she used to beat the crap out of me every couple of weeks. But you know, I learned to respect her, you know, and I picked up her love of spoons, and I collect them now. And I don't know where we'd be without spoons. I don't know where I'd be without spoons. I certainly bugger up my tea, that's for sure. Anyway, at least now you know the truth about spoons, and you know all about these canals and how they came about. And I hope you'll spread the word about Mr. Brindley. Aye.